Suddenly you find yourself in a world where history has taken a wild and unexpected turn. Even worse, there is a very good chance it might be all your fault. Hold on to your recollections, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to experience the butterfly effect. Imagine this: you're in your basement tinkering on your latest invention, a time machine. Finally, you get it working and decide to take a quick jump back in time. You land with a thump in 1491 on a bustling dock in Europe. You bump into a sailor carrying a pouch full of important documents. He stumbles, the pouch spills open, and papers scatter in the wind, and you almost drop the actuator for the time machine. You immediately jump back to your own time, disheveled and shaken. That was close, you think to yourself as you glance at the poster of the Americas taped to your bedroom wall. That's weird. That map looks funny. The Americas discovered 1502? What? No way. You do a quick internet search and gasp. Christopher Columbus's voyage to the Americas was delayed by a decade. Turns out the monarchs put their gold behind a different explorer. Maybe someone like Amerigo Vespucci stepped into the spotlight. Imagine maps of Africa with Spanish flags instead of Portuguese, or trade routes reaching China decades earlier than they did for us. Did your accidental mishap rewrite history, paving the way for a different explorer to discover the Americas? Believe it or not, this is the basis of a famous thought experiment called the butterfly effect. Basically, one tiny action, even something dumb like bumping into a guy, can totally mess up the future. This little moment of clumsiness on your part might have prevented Columbus from reaching the Americas, shifting everything we know about history. The butterfly effect got its name from a famous meteorologist named Edward Lorenz. In the 1960s, he was running weather simulations on a computer and discovered that even minuscule changes to his starting data produced wildly different, unpredictable weather patterns. Seriously, it's like a butterfly in Texas causing a tornado in Tokyo. Totally unpredictable. Just like in our time travel scenario, this showed how even the tiniest of actions can have a snowball effect over time, changing the course of everything. While the butterfly effect is often explained through science fiction, like in the 2004 movie The Butterfly Effect, or novels about time travel, there's real-world science behind it. It ties into something called chaos theory. Chaos theory is this whole branch of mathematics and physics that says some systems, whether it's the weather or human history, are deeply sensitive to tiny changes in the beginning. Even the minuscule flap of a butterfly's wings, scientists theorize, could eventually affect the path of a distant tornado. This is why time travel gets so complex. Imagine stepping on a bug in the Jurassic era. You think, oh well, it's just one little bug, who cares? But what if that bug's absence alters the food chain, which alters the evolution of dinosaurs, which alters the evolution of early mammals, and whoops, now humans might never evolve at all. Or what if you went back to help someone in the past, change something to improve their life, but it backfired terribly? Let's say you travel back in time and give young Albert Einstein a super advanced calculator to help him with his work. Sounds like a good deed, right? But then what if Einstein ends up too bored and never challenges himself enough to come up with the theory of relativity, a cornerstone of our understanding of the universe? The crazy and awesome thing is, we might be living in a universe shaped by countless butterfly effects, some caused by random chance, maybe even some triggered by decisions we've made. It's enough to give you an existential crisis. So, does the butterfly effect mean time traveling would be a terrible idea, bound to destroy our future or create some warped alternate reality? Or is it just highlighting that life is unpredictable, history's full of random chance, and what we do matters? Maybe a bit of both. You know, I love that movie, The Butterfly Effect, starring Ashton Kutcher. The part that stuck with me the most was when Evan goes back to where all his troubles began to try and save the woman and her baby from the mailbox explosion he and his friends caused by playing with dynamite. While he succeeded in preventing the woman and her infant daughter's death, he ends up becoming a victim of the explosion himself. He returns to an altered future where he finds his mother in the hospital dying of lung cancer. She had become a chain smoker, coping with the grief brought on by her son's injuries after the explosion that maimed him. I saw in real time how a single decision or event can change your entire future. I was a smoker back then. That moment of clarity is what made me quit. The next time you're tempted to think that your actions don't really matter, remember the butterfly effect. It makes our reality a lot more thrilling and maybe a lot more fragile than we sometimes think. And let's not forget, you could accidentally drop a penny that a kid finds 200 years later that inspires them to become the inventor of a new technology that changes mankind. You know, sometimes I wonder, what if I never went to that store where I met my future wife? Would our paths have crossed another way? Or would my whole life be totally different? It's all a bit mind-bending when you think about it, but it also makes you think twice about the little choices you make right here in the present, because who knows what enormous effect they might ripple out to have. What kind of ripple effects do you want to create? Tell me in the comments. And if this kind of mind-bending stuff fascinates you, hit subscribe for more videos that explore the weird and wonderful corners of the super interesting